Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday with me. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of Afro Economics. It is Wednesday, April 16th at high noon. I appreciate you. Exciting topic that we have for today. Please share this. Please click like. Please click like. Hey, you don't have to like it to click like for me. Just click like so that you can get like some points for doing something nice for the day. How about that, y'all? Right? Points, good points, points with God, but just making me smile. I thought about that the other day. I was looking at and I was like, you know what? You should ask for subscriptions. You should ask for likes more. The key is that if you don't ask for it, Mr. Jefferson, the world will not know what you need. So let's focus on asking more for what we want, asking more about what we want, asking for what we want out of life. I don't know if you saw the invitation. If you don't get the invitation for tonight or today, if you don't get the invitation, make sure that you go to the website and click to sign up for, at minimum, the no excuse free membership so that you, Mr. Walker, get invited to everything like Snoopy D. Yeah. And if anyone, please let me know. I'm going to send the link. If there is a member who would like to join me in the studio talking about the imperfections of financial planning today, let me know. The you It's just an opportunity for you to ask questions. So don't feel like if you come into the studio that I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. I'm not. So, but that is the link for Afro Economic members. If you want to join me in the studio, that link should work. Bring you right in. And I think it shares it on everyone. So in the what back to the invitation. So I was in the invitation. I shared the quote. I shared the quote that made me think of the imperfections of financial planning. And then it made me start thinking about like just the imperfections of everything and the fact that nothing is perfect. I'm gonna look at it right now. Because the truth is there is nothing perfect. So I'm gonna read that. I want to read the quote to you, and then we can meditate on that. And it comes from a song. Um, what's his name? Last name Cohen, first name Leonard. The name of the song is Anthem. And a quote out of the song is perfect. Forget the perfect offering. Everything is flawed. It's the cracks that let the light in. So I went with the cracks. It's the cracks that let the light in. The cracks in our financial plan. So over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of volatility, as they understand, a lot of volatility. And with this volatility, a lot of people have discovered um, that there's some cracks in their financial planning process. A lot of people don't have a relationship with someone like me. They don't have an investment advisor on their team like you have, Ms. Anderson. And I hope that my presence in my life and the time that we spend together and the discussions that I offer and these free knowledge sharing brings comfort to someone when they feel that some things are falling apart. or they don't feel exactly safe in their job anymore. So you can think about like, oh, your company might be downsizing, or you work for the government and they're doing a reduction in force in your department, or things like that. I feel that we should see that as a crack. It's a crack, Ms. Mack. It's a crack because it's something unexpected. You didn't expect that to happen. No. Have you ever heard that term like crackpot? Crackpot. And what that came from, I think, probably is from pots cracking. You ever had a plant and the pot gets cracked? And there is a process. There's a process of getting that plant into another pot. It's a cracked pot. Things that crack give you the opportunity for now, what type of pot do you want to put that plant in? Are you going to put it in a pot that's smaller than the pot that it was in? Or are you going to transfer your plant into a pot that gives it more possibilities for growth, right? Gives you more growth opportunities. So if you get a bigger pot to repot your plant because the other pot cracked. So we're looking at cracks, things that go wrong, things that are unexpected, things that look like they're falling apart. But is not that the time where your opportunities come in? Is that not the time where you can be more positive and you can make sure that you focus on getting an appropriate place for your pot, putting yourself into a growth potential, putting yourself in a position to grow now, that actually from something bad that happened, that's the light. That was the opportunity for you to grow. The word speaks that like that the word speaks on in your weakness, that is when you see the power of God. You can't hear me. I'm so sorry. The y'all make sure y'all let me know if anybody else can't hear me. The K can't hear me. It keeps, so every time I speak, like my mic is saying that it's on, that it's coming out. And Snoopy D would have told me, yes, I will put you on. See, she heard me. Snoopy D had to hear me. I don't know what's up, Miss Patel. But look, there might be a crack in your pot. Turn up your volume. But then the light comes in. The light comes in from something that we might see as, oh, that's a bad thing. There's something bad that happened. This even financial volatility that people are seeing, that many people that do save, that do invest, they thank you. They will see that this is an opportunity for them to, to actually review things. I'm glad, Miss Hannon. This is an opportunity for them to clean house, to see exactly what's going on. But if the shakeup hadn't happened, if the insecurity hadn't happened, then maybe the light would have never come in and shown the weakness that's there in your financial plan, or shown the weakness that you have in your life overall. So I believe that that's why the word says that, God is at his strongest when we're weak, when we're at our weakest. That's when we truly can see the strength of God. If you see the light, if you are determined to see the light and allow the light to come in, if you can see that, I believe that in everything that happens to us, that's funny. That's what I call my daughter, AZ. That everything that happened to us that we might see as, oh my goodness, my pot has been cracked. These things have fallen apart. We can see that as a growth opportunity as well. I want to make sure that when you come to me with something that's going on, oh, I'm not sure if my job is going to be here 5 years from now. My immediate thought is, what can we do to make sure that you're prepared if that happens? What do we need to look at? This crack, this what insecurity that you're having can be the opportunity for you to get to change things. I was sharing with a young member yesterday. I was saying that is definitely through what I discovered, that debt as an entrepreneur is not where you want to be. But sometimes you have to get to the point where I had to get to like 2007, and then all of a sudden you see that, oh wow, I'm an entrepreneur. Things don't always flow the way you want them to flow. But when things are flowing well, you don't, you need things to kind of break. You need things to happen. You need things to, you need a weakness to be revealed in order for you to develop that true strength. So out of that weakness in the financial markets, out of that weakness in business, out of that weakness, that is where I discovered the importance of avoiding unnecessary debts. Don't owe people. Avoid owing people. It's code red indeed. That's great. You got too many names. Thank you. But more importantly, yes, more importantly, during these times of uncertainty that Code Red is pointing out, I think Code Red is a much better name for you that I gave you myself. I don't know what, somebody need to tell her. Code Red is a better name. Piques the curiosity, makes you think. And it came out of a crack. Came out of a crack. She was explaining to me that one day when she was teaching, she fell. She fell over at the desk, and she fell. And one of the kids in the classroom said, Code Red, Code Red. And then she said she was saying how funny she thought it was, and she was laughing. I said, man, that is a good name for you. I will remember. So I always know that Paula is Code Red. And I remember that. And out of that story, out of that, so she could have been a lot of people. All they would see is that they fell over and the kids weren't, compassionate and this and that. But what did she see? She saw the joy in the experience. So many kids connected with her through that. You fell off the chair, exactly. Through that painful experience, those kids that was probably the best moment. That was at least the best moment of their day. Seeing a teacher fall out of a chair and be okay. It wasn't a bad thing. Then that means they saw you as youthful. They saw you as the kind of person that's going to get back up, laugh about it. She's going to be okay. Because there's a whole bunch of people, they fall over in a chair. They're going to be wondering if they still alive. So thank God for being a grown woman that can fall over on a chair and they don't worry about you still being alive. You good. You good. And they can say Code Red and laugh about it. That's funny. But that's also a great example of turning a negative into a positive thing. Going through whatever we go through, let's discover, how can I grow from this weakness? Because a lot of times in the financial planning, we forget to personalize our financial planning. That's my job. That's my job. A lot of people who don't have someone that's a good at assisting them, their financial plan, they have a lack of personalization. It might not be personalized just to you. It might not be comprehensive. It might not include everything that you want to do. Like you might only be looking at financial planning from just the investment part, where my financial plans for Afro Economics members actually includes goals, your worries, your fears, your wants, your needs, and your beneficiaries, what you want to leave behind. have to be comprehensive. The debts, as well as the assets, as well as the risk tolerance. So comprehensiveness. Is this right now? By me saying that, did it discover a crack? And see how basically, instead of it being a weakness, God allowed me to turn the light on with that you need to do that. Then we need to make sure that you personalize your financial planning. Do you understand? Do you understand all of the investments that you have? Do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand how your pension works? Do you understand how you're going to take care of yourself without a pension? If you have no pension, is that a problem? No, it could just be a crack. How do we fill that crack? We can develop some things so that you develop your own pension, your own guaranteed income. We have options. So out of that crack, we turn the light on. We don't hide from it. We don't worry about it. No, we don't allow another crack in the financial planning process is that a lot of people are afraid to even think about a financial plan. They're very emotional, and the emotions are their crack, and they haven't done anything to make sure that they move from that emotional concern to actually solving the problem, talking with a professional, allowing me to help you to answer some of those fears. The fear is just the crack. The light is where God can use me to help you. What about some other cracks? I saw this link. I don't know how I got it. I don't know if somebody sent it to me. And they were talking about these purses. And the purses can cost up to $400,000. So a lady was in the store and she had asked for financing for her purse. She was purchasing this purse. And she was jumping around in the video. I don't know if any of y'all saw that. And she's jumping around in the video because they approved her financing for that purse. And this was a good thing. That was the post. It wasn't that, isn't this ridiculous or it's crazy? Why would someone finance a purse? Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't about that. the TikTok was about, wow, you got approved for the purse. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're financing a purse. What in the world has she identified this purchase? I have yet to ever see on my list, thank God, of debts that a client has purse financing. But really, I have, if we think about it, because if you have credit card debt and you put on your credit card a purse or clothes or shoes, it's the same thing. You're financing. You're financing the purse. You're financing the shoes. You know how much those shoes cost you if you're not just buying the shoes, but you're financing the shoes. Those shoes just cost you for years and trying to pay them off. And they're charging you 18, 20, 28% interest. Ms. Snoopy D says, we don't believe in saving, you know? So you see that as a crack, you know, when people don't believe in saving. No, a lot, I would say that people, you know, who don't save, they don't see it as a priority. Like it's just not a priority for them. So they don't put anything back. Like they're like back to what? Like back for what? Maybe their plan is they want to work. You know, if you want to work, then you don't have to worry about saving. But you can't not want to work. Like you can't want to retire and not save. if you're trying to maintain a certain style of living. Now it depends. If you feel that you can, if you did at least put money into Social Security, that is a form of saving, and it is forced. But everyone that's had a regular job, has put into Social Security. So if they can live completely off that, and that's enough for them, that's fine. It's so surprised that they do financing. I am so surprised. Which designer are you talking about? Did you see the one that I was talking? Did you see that same commercial? Because I forgot the name of it. Somebody knows. It started like a H and something, some that but it had like two names, like H and some. You're surprised that they do financing. We should never be surprised that they do financing. They finance everything. You can finance on Amazon. You can finance, your groceries. Like you can every time we pull out a credit card, you're financing it. So anybody with a credit card balance is financing their whole lifestyle. Yeah, that was it. Hermes, and isn't it those both of those names? Hermes and Birkin, something like that, or Birkin and Hermes. But it's something like that. That's funny that one of you said one name and the other said the others. Exactly. But that was it. I never heard of that till yesterday. I was yesterday a year old that I heard that name. Jenny, was it Hermes? Like, but it was like that, like Hermes Birkin or something like that. Like yeah, tomorrow, yeah, saving for what? Tomorrow's not promised. As long as that person knows, like, that does not have to be a crack in their financial plan, as long as they are fully aware of the risk that they're taking, or, like if they're grown and they're living off their Social Security and that is sustaining their lifestyle, like, then that's fine. Everything that we do as far as financial planning is based on what your wants are. The cracks are when you want something and you did not plan to have it. Oh, Birkin is the name of the purse, and Hermes is the store. Okay, come on, teach me. Come on through. Glad that you can hear me now. That's right. Walk through. Hit the link. You should hit the link and tell us about it. Let me send that link again. Come on in and tell us about it, Miss Patel. I bet you could get a fake one somewhere, and then, but some, but for that person, that would be a crack in their financial plan if they had to get a fake one. They don't want a fake one. For some people, I saw yesterday on when I saw that and I started like looking at other things connected to it. There was another person that said by buying this purse, it was more valuable. This is what this person said, that buying this purse was a better investment than the stock market, gold, or silver, or anything else. Like that purse had gone up in value. She didn't, and she can say this. She could say this. You don't have any proof, any evidence. She doesn't have to say anything. She said it had gone up in value by more than the stock market, the gold, and silver. They're selling them at Walmart now. The fake ones, is it the fake ones that they're selling at Walmart? Is that what you're saying? The yeah. So the or the real ones at Walmart. You're gonna be saying these things. You got to give us complete statements, so you got to hit in the link. So what a lie! Stop. There's how much does it cost? Like which ones at Walmart and how much would it cost? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The real ones. But my point is like someone might do that and they can't afford to send their child to college. They can't afford to, you know, pay their rent, pay their mortgage, pay their car payment, but they have to have that purse. I can appreciate it if what she said was true, that you could get the purse and use it and it still would be worth more when you die. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. It is at this point used. If you are superstar, like say you J Lo, and that's your Hermes purse or Birkin's purse, and that's your purse, and you're a superstar, then maybe you might get more for the, like with the Jordans. I mean, so someone could say that about Jordans, because Jordans have sold, Michael Jordan's original shoe has sold for like I think over $1 million. So they can backpedal that. I'm glad that no man has come out there and used that as a rule of thumb of the increase in value of Jordans. It's possible, but his went up because of the foot that was in the shoe, not because of the shoe. They call them workings. I know that's right. You cannot get the purse at Walmart. Y'all should fight about it. She said, if Miss Patel says you can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Walmart, Jenny. You can get the workings one. I don't see why not. All Walmart has to do is put it in the glass box like they do with their guns. You know, people go in, it's about location, blah, 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 or go on walmart.com, you put it up. Then they can say, do you want to finance this? And then da da da. Because a lot of these retailers are making you know what they do every time you're trying to check out. Would you like to get our card? Would you like to get our card? That's financing. That's financing your underwear purchase. Yes, that's financing everything. Now, is the financing of your purse and your pantyhose and your underwear, you know, because you got to have the most expensive one, is that a crack in your financial plan? It is going to be up to you. Because some major cracks in the financial planning process is a value system, a lack of understanding of what you might actually need going forward in your life. Poor spending habits, overspending, impulsive purchases, neglecting to have a budget, being way out of touch. Look, way out of touch with reality. Tell them, Miss Patel, Jenny. She said, Google it. It's true. Tell Miss Patel. It's true, Jenny. She said it. You heard it here first. Google it. Get that purse at Walmart. Go on. If you must. But if it could end up being a crack. And through the crack, do you turn it into light? Do you turn that into a lesson? Do you turn it into that, hey, I want this more than this. I need this versus this. Or I got to make sure that I increase my income since I have these desires. I don't know. Jenny said they would not sell it at Walmart because it would take the value down. They could create a line specifically for Walmart, like their $2,000 line, available only at Walmart. I've seen them do that. It wouldn't affect the value of the others that's still only available at such and such a store. Right? So it's not what you do, it's how they do it. They're winning. If it's at Walmart, it's because they're winning. They're winning. Do you have things in your financial plan that are not in your best interest? So when you're talking about the home, that's a different thing because that's a location. But with Walmart, That's just picking up the product and going on home. That's what I was saying. Like your analogy, Jenny said that if you build a house worth $1 million in the ghetto, the value goes down. The It's only worth $1 million because you spend $1 million on it. No, if you spend $1 million on that house, no matter where you locate it, it's $1 million house. Now, could you sell it for $1 million because you put it in what you refer to as the ghetto? So you put it in a neighborhood with all the other homes around it are a half a million, and you put $1 million into this one. So that everything is about supply and demand. Just because you buy something for $1 million or you build something for $1 million doesn't mean that anybody will actually pay $1 million for it. But you did that, and but the other ones around it might not want, or the person just wants to. Those things can happen. Those things, can happen. But your thing is, will they be able to resell it? Well, the purse is an easier one than the actual house because the house is stuck at that location. But the purse, you can just take it wherever you want to go. And if you just keep trying to find somebody, you might be able to sell it for more than $1,000 that you bought it from Walmart. But remember, like when you're referring to resale and on the purse, so that would be like, you're talking about like after we buy something, does the resale go down because I bought it from, Walmart? They really wouldn't know that you got it from Walmart with the purse, but the house, is stuck in that particular location. Did they get the resale on it? As if they waited long enough? Yes, no, but it's all on square footage and the value. But when you first build the house, it's based on it's $1 million house, regardless of what's around it, because you put $1 million in it. If somebody buys it for 800 because you could not get another buyer because the other homes around it weren't worth as much, or it was in a high crime area, so you had to sell it for 800, and you put $1 million in it, that person who bought it for 800 doesn't necessarily have equity in it just because they know it was $1 million put in it. And people do that all the time. Buy a car, drive off the lot, and you put, 100,000 into that car. You drive off the lot, it's worth 80,000 just because you drove off the lot. So if you need to get that 100,000 back the next day, you're not going to get it. And that's the thing about consumer items versus an investment. That's the thing about residential property versus an investment property that you're going to create into rental income. So they could do the $1 million house, break it into 4 or 5 different apartments, and you know, and turn it into an investment that creates income for you. But also that could be, turning a crack that, oh wow, the neighborhood went south. How do I make this work for me? That's where my job comes in. It doesn't necessarily have to be the worst thing that you ever did. We can turn it in. We just have to look at it a different way. Oh, maybe we should do this with it. Oh, maybe we could turn it into a duplex. Oh, maybe we could so, but yes, they know about the purse because I had a code in it to tell it came from and when it was made. Mm. They so with the purse, Jenny is saying that the resale, because it came from Walmart, it might have a code in it that said this was the Walmart, and someone might not want it from Walmart. So the resell on the purse, because it doesn't matter to you. So it depends on if the person is literally looking at that purse as an investment, or are they looking at, I want to get it at the most convenient place for the best price, and I just want to use my purse. That's it. But it is amazing how they're doing that. So, like, turning it into making women feel like this person's not valued as much because there's a code in it and you can find that code. Who's going to look for the code? You're just going into church. You're just enjoying your life. Is it really? Is it, is that really something that we should be worried about? I'm going to put this up. Does that, because there is no perfection like our topic of today. I'm going to put it up. Let's see if it comes up. If y'all can see it, if I put this behind me. No. Casting tab. Stop. Available. Oh, did it do it? There it is. But it's backwards. But that's the quote for today. Forget the perfect. Forget the perfect offering. That's what they're trying to make you think. That the house is perfect, that purse is perfect, that your financial plan is perfect, that your job is perfect, that you are perfect. There's nothing perfect. Look, everything is flawed if you can read backwards. Everything is flawed. It's the cracks that let the light in. The crack is that we are thinking that a purse is an investment. A crack is that we are thinking that that these things really matter, like, you know what I mean, or it matters what somebody else thinks about my purse, or it matters about somebody else thinks about my neighborhood, that it matters, like, you know what I'm saying. There are just as many happy people in the ghetto as there are happy people in, multi-billion dollar neighborhoods, maybe even more unhappy, because everything is flawed. Everything is flawed. Like, I'm so shocked when people say, "Oh my goodness, they were so rich. How could they do that?" And there was this football player the other day, and he was being considered for the pros and everything, but he was driving down the street, and the accusation was that he caused the death of another person. That was what he was being accused of. And in the middle of all of that he was going through, I don't know what you talking about, Robert Walker. And in the middle of everything that the young man was going through, he had to, he decided the other day that he was going to end his life because he thought that there was a perfect life out there. And I think that, like, a big part of our life, if we're not careful, is we get too focused on the crack. We get too focused on what went wrong. Too focused on, oh, I got all this debt and don't do anything about it, but go to the store and get deeper in debt. Oh, my job might end. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So you sit around and talk to this people in the same situation. It's not going to help. You have to look at the light. And I feel that a lot of times they'll say, well, get help to people, get help, talk to somebody, but you can't just talk to somebody. You have to talk to someone who has your best interest in mind. And that's not always that person who's right there listening. Sometimes they do not know how to help you see the light. They don't know how to tell you, man, this is so far from over, bro. Yes, someone died, But how exactly is that your fault specifically? We got to go to court and understand this all. How? Because you were going down the street and this happened and that happened, all of that would have to be proven that all of that is because of you. They're basically saying, now you're God, bro. You're not God, bro. You got to stick this out, bro. You got to face this straight on, bro. If you're not going to go to the NFL, God has a bigger plan for you, bro. Look at the light, bro. Look at the light, bro. You know what I'm saying? If there was no one to say that, and we're looking at our life, but not looking at the light. You're only thinking about what's going wrong and you get comfortable in there. You almost get uncomfortable. Like why I was talking about looking at the light, 3 people left the room because we don't want to see the light. The light reflects the flaw and makes us take responsibility. It makes us be accountable for our part of everything. But there is an opportunity in what God is bringing to our attention. Yeah, you know, the light is before the storm. You can't even see the storm until you see the light because you're just sitting there in the dark. Then the light, and you're afraid of what is in the light. And there's a storm in there, and you got to go through the storm, and you got to get through the storm, and you got to heal through the storm. You got to grow through the storm. You got to do what you got to do in the storm so that you can get to the other side. But we just always stay in the closet. Just stay right here. I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to keep swipe, 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 swipe. Oh, they're getting on my nerves. They might end my job. I might lose my job. Swipe, 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 swipe. We cannot do things in the dark. Look at the opportunity in the crack. Look at it. Get the help that you need. Realize that there's going to be volatility, that we make a plan, but the plan isn't always going to go exactly right. But every time something goes wrong, because we're assessing it, we're constantly reviewing it. A key principle of Afro economics is accountability and review. Yes, the sixth principle. We talked about it last week's members only meeting. That is where we look at that crack. We're reviewing it. What's the weakest link? Why is this weak? What do we need to do about it? Do we need to make changes here? Are you withdrawing too much? Are you taking care of your taxes? Are you, planning? Are we doing proper tax planning? What can we do to make sure you owe taxes this year? What's wrong with that? Wait a minute. Let me look at that tax return. We need to review this. What's going on? Oh, you're not doing this. We got to look at that crack. See that light. Get after it. That's right. So key things in financial planning I just want you to take home is that it's not going to be perfect. That's why we have to review it often. We have to stay on it. We need to be looking for things, market volatility, economic changes, unexpected life stuff, job change, illnesses, family emergencies, new baby, grandkids, everything. We need to look at those things so that they're the opportunity for growth. That's where we get it, right? The cracks let the light in. The cracks let the light in, y'all. The cracks let the light in. I'm gonna switch this back because I wish I knew how to switch that, like so that it wouldn't be backwards. But I know it, but I won't force you. I won't force you to watch me figure it out. And I can't. And at this point, look, I can't. Oh, there it is. And I'll switch that back. Oh, I have to stop it. and then you can do it. You have to stop it and make it unavailable to me again to share something else. You can't tell that that is backwards because you don't know what forward is, I guess. I hope you can't. But the light, I discovered a crack that how do I switch that? Right? But it also brought out the light that hey, when I put things up there, it comes backwards. But I see it here. What you see there, no, that came up correct. I don't know why the other one, but I see that the same way you see that, but not the written one. Maybe the website that I reflected it from the invitation, but that's a crack. That's an opportunity for growth. I love figuring out stuff like that, you know? But at the same time, you can't do it when you have other things that are of top priority. Sometimes we have to realize that we're avoiding a crack or a weakness by allowing distractions that don't make a difference to take over. No, you go, oh my goodness, I got to get rid of all this credit card debt. Like, and you're not connecting that every weekend you go shopping. So you're paying it down, making extra payments, but every weekend you're adding to it. Yeah. Like if you said let's try not to panic severely. If if a person panics severely with the stock market, that is a major crack. That means that they are invested inappropriately. My job is to make sure that the clients that are in the market understand the market, and that's where they want that portion of their money to be. That's the difference between investment management. I'm an investment advisor. I'm your investment advisor. That's different than just someone that's selling you stuff. I have to, part of my license, have to have a clear understanding of you. Need to know pretty much as you tell me. You could not tell me, but I need to know and to ask, do you have an emergency fund? Is this all the money that you got? We got, you know what I'm saying? Because if it's all the money that you got and we got all of it in the market, 100% in stocks, the equities, and this and that, you know what I'm saying? Then that, that's why you're worried so much. Because the risk that you're exposed to is not reasonable. Right? So those are the things that's why we meet. That's why I do what I do. That's what God is using me for. But if you don't see the lack of having someone to help you as a crack, then I don't have to, I'm not with you. But the people I'm on, they see me on their team. They see it was like, yeah, JB helps me keep the light on. She helps me grow from cracks that we identify together. And we work that and we fix it. She makes, that's her job. That's my job. I love it when I have a professional that I'm working with that is committed to my success. No, I love like going to, I want to say something about fitness before it's all over. But I love that my trainer identifies weaknesses and helps me build them. She doesn't say, well, you want to get faster, so we need to work on, strengthening your ankles and blah, 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 blah. She didn't say that. We do it. We do it. So I don't have to have like a complete understanding of everything. I'm not that type of person. I just want to be surrounded by the professionals that are making sure that I'm doing what I need to do for the goals that I have given her. So you give me the goal, you give me your goal. It's my job to get you there. I want this, this, and this. You might not know why I'm doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? But you told me I want this, this, and this. We have it in the investment policy statement. I know your risk tolerance level and this and that. Boom, boom, boom. That's what we're doing. Thank you, Mr. Walker, because I would have been worried about you. He was saying I was thinking. That's right. That's right. But I can respect that you and I see it that way, but there's a large number of people who really think that those purses are a valid investment. So I would say we have to put it in their investment financial plan. There are people, Mr. Walker, these women have glass cases, and the cases are in there, like, and the purses are in there, like some men are with their sneakers. No, I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them, but they have to realize the risk involved. They have to realize there's a small market for it. That increases the risk of it. They have to realize, like, what's can you are you really rich? Can you afford this? What is the purpose? You know, but that I'm gonna try hard. Like, I want people to respect my value system. Because some people don't respect that I am all about fitness like this. So they spend it on purses. I spend it on fitness. I spend it on my health. I spend it on these things. They might have enough money to spend it on all of that. But everybody spends money, but we have to realize that it's not for me to create your value system, but you have to realize that certain things, decisions that we make are going to lead to certain things, or can increase our chances of the certain things happening. No, right? Can you shed light on you index universal life policies versus whole life, or just universal? Please reach out to me, because I can definitely help you with that. I'm licensed in all insurance products. And um, that's a good question. And one of these Wednesdays, before you know it, we will definitely go into that. That will take us but a big part of the financial planning process is life insurance. And fortunately, I get a lot of my clients over time, they don't need as much life insurance as they may have needed when they were younger. But there are some people who all they sell is life insurance, and they will say, you always need this life insurance, and and we'll have a person paying a life insurance premium their entire life. Where I focus on minimizing the insurance premium, and maximizing the insurance coverage. And then at a point, we have our assets that are way bigger than the life insurance. So it is possible to become self-insured. But a person who is not an investment advisor, who doesn't also do investments, may say, oh, no, everything is insurance. You got to always have insurance. You got to always have it. Da, 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 da. No, like, that. But it's harder for them to fathom the level of clients that have multiple millions, way more than a person would need for their financial needs for the end. And then there'll come a level where they might want to have it to cover some taxes for estate planning, but that gets on a whole nother level. But interesting point, interesting point. And I love life insurance. I remember when I first started in the business at the investment firm that first hired me as a stockbroker. Gosh, almost 35 years ago. And I was the only investment advisor, or they were what they call us, financial advisors back then, the registered rep that was actually doing insurance as well. No, so God was preparing me for a holistic look at our financial lives, even from the beginning. And I remember when I started my own firm, I said, I want to be licensed in everything. So thank God I'm licensed in car, home, life, health, business insurance. I have all of those licenses, as well as our investment advisory license that I focus most of our discussions on. But I do need to bring insurance into play because I do it. But thank you for bringing that up. But I appreciate you all. Look at us. 1 o'clock. Almost, indeed. But I appreciate this time. I hope that this, really has helped about there is no perfect plan, but it is about discovering weaknesses along the way, bringing them to light so that we can grow from any cracks that we find. And it's okay. It is okay. There is nothing, no one, no plan that is perfect. So it is a living, when we develop the plan, it is a living being and part of our financial process. Doesn't always have to stay the same. You say you want to, retire at 65, but then they have a great offer at work and you decide you want to leave at 62. Hey, we work with that. We adjust with that, you know, or, or it just happens. And, but if we're working together, that that any cracks that we discover, we can figure out together how to fill that need, how to adjust accordingly, how to make the proper moves to make it work. Like we're not going to, and you don't have to just ball up in the corner and get deeper into a bad situation. Let's work together. I'm here for that. I'm made for that. I appreciate y'all. Stay positive. Stay positive. Don't be hard on yourself. Everything, we can grow through everything. Not one bad thing has ever happened to me that I don't now look back on and get a better understanding of myself through it. And thank God for it. I'm telling you, everything is for our betterment if we commit to making it for our growth. Just because it's bad don't mean it ain't good. Yeah. Put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, we can make it good. And God's perfect strength becomes present in our weakness. You know. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Amen. Thank you, Snoopy D. You be good out there in ATL. Thank you, Ms. Patel in VA. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Thank you all for taking your time for your comments. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And then Mr. HOA, he was, yes, Mr. Jefferson. I see you. I appreciate you. Ms. Anderson, Ms. Mack. Yes, you are not. You are not unseen. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Y'all enjoy y'all Easter. Talk to you soon. And Friday, members only. Don't forget, Mr. Jefferson, members only, Friday at 9 a.m.